This is Jeff Ritter. I want to thank you for visiting Jeff Ritter Golf. What I have here for you today is just a sample golf lesson from one of my students that traveled from Ohio to do a little work on his golf game. And what we have here is we have a young competitive player with desires to take his game to the next level. So he came down here with an open mind, willing to see what kind of change we'd have in mind to see if we can't help him meet his goals. And the things he was concerned with was, number one, he was hitting a lot of shots to the left, had too much of a hook on his golf ball. And the other thing is, based on his strength and his physicality, he was concerned that maybe he wasn't maximizing his distance potential. So the things that I'm looking for when I'm looking at someone's golf swing, number one, every golf swing has a shape to it, which is responsible for the quality of contact. And then within that shape, there are sources of power, which determine how far the ball is going to travel with that contact. So as I started watching this gentleman swing, one thing I'm looking for right off the bat is why he would hit some hooks. And within the first couple of frames of this video, you can see he's taking this golf club underneath the swing plane, and then halfway back this club face is getting rather closed. Well, a closed club face, up to the top here you can see how closed that face is. A closed club face is going to make his golf ball travel too much to the left. So now as he's coming down into the golf ball, we can see the club face right here is very close relative to the plane. And now, in order to hit this golf ball straight, he's going to have to adjust the way that he releases the golf club. So instead of being able to have a free release where the club travels back around his body, he's going to have to employ more of a block style release. Now when you're blocking, what you're really doing is you're making the handle of the club and the club head start to travel too much the same speed through contact. That's taking club head speed away from your impact, but it will square the club face up. So as you look at this follow through, you can see how his club is traveling not so much around his body, but more up with a very vertical finish. You can see how much the left elbow is away from his body. And you can also, if we just roll this back for a second, see a big difference between the plane of the left arm swing as it relates to the shoulders and the backswing, and then the plane of the right arm swing as it relates to that shoulder tilt coming through. So you can see how the block style release to try and save the closed club face really influenced the shape of the swing into a much more vertical position. So my first goal is to, number one, get this golf club to travel a little more on plane in the takeaway, get the club face a little bit squarer at the top, so that now this player can have more of a free release around his body to the finish. And just by changing the club face and freeing up the release, we'll take away that block finish and actually add some club head speed. Looking from the face-on view, what we can see is how this player is using their body. And the big thing that jumped out right away was the fact that this player does not rotate or wind up their shoulders as much as they should. Right now we have about 46 degrees of shoulder rotation right here. He should be closer to 90 or even beyond 90 if he has some flexibility. So right away we know we can help this player. Number one, by changing the shape of their swing based on where the club face is, freeing up the release, getting more club head speed, and then from here really getting their shoulders to wind up a little bit more fully as a means of generating more power. So if we look at the after, what we're going to be able to see here is the down the line view and of course the face on view. Well, from the down the line perspective, we'll let this player roll through here a couple times. We're just doing some very slow backswings to try and feel a different backswing position, different swing shape, different wrist position. And as we look at the takeaway, you're going to see that first of all, no longer is the club traveling underneath the plane. In the first few stages of the backswing. As we get up at the top, there's going to be a significant difference in the back of the left wrist and how the club face is responding to that. And then from here, as this player unwinds and does some little practice shots, we'll really see a big difference in where the club face is in that transition as we work back down the plane to impact. So right there, that club face is tilted much more back. It's much more square to the plane. It's pretty much the opposite club face that he had before. Now from here, coming into the golf ball, we don't have a block release. We actually have much more of a natural rotation of the club face. The shaft's going to respond by traveling much more around his body. and then you're going to see much more of a low left elbow position, a little bit more behind him, right arm more across the chest. So big difference in the follow through as related to where the club face was. We probably spent about 3 or 4 days working together. Again, he was down here doing some work on his game. But once you have a blueprint and an understanding of what you're going for, it just comes down to doing the drills, putting in the work, being able to get some good feedback, and really taking ownership over your game. One of the things that we like to do here is not only give you a game plan and a blueprint, but also help you sort of get into what I call the coach's mind. That means understanding cause and effect as it relates to your golf swing and your game plan. And that way I feel like you're much more equipped to go back home and do some work on your own, understanding the process of going from where you were, building your new swing. If we look at the left-hand side, I mean, a real big difference here with the shoulder position. He's got his shoulders wound up. He's got a lot of what is commonly known as X factor. The shoulders are turned well more than the hips. He's loaded up like a spring, and he can definitely generate a lot of club head speed from that position. So here we were doing some drills, and then of course these drills lead into actual live swings. And here we have, after a week's time, we have the finished product on both sides. And of course, a big difference in the backswing plane. Takeaway much more improved. Club face now square at the top. Transitioning much more squarely. Free release around the body. Arms and shoulders more in a matching plane. And then of course from the face-on view, being able to see not only improved shape from the down the line perspective, but also a much better shoulder wind-up. Creating much more potential energy to really be able to take the shape of that swing, which has a better contact, and add some miles per hour to get this golf ball traveling a much greater distance. So the big question for a player looking to improve the game is, number one, as it relates to contact, what kind of swing shape do I have now, and how's it relating my impact? Number one, is it making the ball hit more off the toe or the heel? Is the shape responsible for deep divots or no divot at all? The starting direction, the curvature, those are all shape-related issues. Beyond that, what kinds of things can I do to increase my club head speed? Are my hands not working properly? Do I have a strength issue? Do I have a flexibility issue? Could I use my body differently? So with a good game plan, very quickly, within a couple of days, you can certainly make a lot of progress and make that golf game, turn the corner the way that you hope it would with some good coaching. So this was a person that came and worked with us in person, individually, but certainly through the online coaching system. We can see your golf swing, we can give you an analysis and a game plan, be able to prescribe basic drills, and let you understand what you need to do so that when you go out, that practice effort's going to pay off. So we can create a relationship online, and hopefully over a couple of sessions we can see the kind of progress that you would see if you came out here to visit us in Arizona. So this is the introduction to the Online Coaching Academy. Hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing your golf swing real soon and help you make that progress that you're looking for.